Hello everyone. Today I will talk about automation testing in Python. So how do we perform the testing, unit testing and functional testing using Python. There is a module in Python called PyTest which can be used to perform or set up unit testing and complex functional testing in Python. Okay, so let's say you have a code and you want to debug it. So this is how you can do testing. Okay, so this is the module you need. Okay, so you need to first of all install it. So in your system, go as admin user. Okay, so if you log in as admin user, after that all you have to do is you have to execute this command pip install pytest. So if once you execute it, so as you see it is already satisfied, so that means this module is already installed on my system. So if I simply run pytest -v, so it will give me the pytest version. Okay, if you just run this python version. Okay, so let's say if you just run python version. Okay, so let's say if I open, let me check if there is a manual for this. No, there's no manual, but if you go to python prompt and if you run this help pytest, if you open the help for this pytest, so here you can get all the information. Okay, so it's a class. So what it does is it's collect, first method is collect. It collects all the tests which are defined in a certain folder or subfolders. Okay, so likewise you can see the help here. Okay, so if you run any command here, so now it will work. So pytest -m, I'm sorry, python. So this is the way to run it. Okay, python. So let's go ahead and create one program and let's just try to execute it. Okay, so let's say I have a demo function. Okay, the py which I want to which I want to set up unit testing. Okay, so let's say I have this function whereby I am performing some, anything. Yeah, you can, I'm performing some kind of addition. Okay, so let's say I am giving a and b to this and I am performing the addition. So the function will return what? It will return a plus b. This is my function. Let's define one more function. Let's say subtraction. Okay, so if I pass a and b, the function should return a minus b. So this is my function. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to set up a test for this. I want to set up a unit testing for this. So how do I do it? Okay, so this is my function. Okay, so ideally you should create a setup. You should create a testing unit for this. So you have to create a test unit. So test underscore the function name, whichever you want to test. So ideally you should give like test underscore the function that you want to test. So here also you can give, this is the interpreter you have to give. Okay, right. So now how do I create the unit testing for this? Okay, so let's call a function. Okay, test. Let's define for addition we are giving test underscore add for the addition function. Okay, so here if I call that function, so that function is there in this Python file, right? So what I need to do is, if I want to use the functions of this method, in this file, I need to import that first, right? So I'll just import here, import what is it, demo function. This is my program. Okay, so I will simply write here, sorry. Okay, so here this is my function, that this is my another program which is having the function. Okay, so now I want to test the add first. So if I call this demo function which is having this method called addition, right, and I want to pass, let's say 3,8. okay, so this is how we are calling the function. If I call this function, and what it will return something, right, because it's a function which is returning. So let's say it is the result. Okay, so if the result, so here the result should be 11. So here in testing PyTest module we have this method called assert. So we wanna we expect that the result should be 11, right? That's what we can do using the assert method. So you can set up the actual result, what it should come, what the outcome should be, using the assert method. Okay, so this is my expectation, right? The result should be 11. Okay, so this is the test function for the addition. Let's define another function. Let's just there is no indentation required here, because okay, fine. So test, and then there is one more. What is it? Subtraction. Okay, let's subtract anything. Yeah, so here again what I'm doing is I'm calling this this method which is there in my demo function. Okay, so subtraction, right? So if I pass, let's say 6,4, so the outcome should be what? Let's store the output of this into result. Okay, and I want to assert that the result should be what? 2, right? This is my test, this is my unit testing module. Okay, this is how we can define unit testing using the PyTest. Okay, fine, let's go. We are good to go. So we have this demo function as well as this test of the demo function. This is the unit test module for that function, right? So this is, we have already created. Now what we'll do is now we want to run the test. Okay, so there are two ways to run the test. Okay, so one is using the Python -m, then the module name. M is for module, so module name, and then you can specify the name of the file. Okay, or you can simply give till here as well. Okay, so if you simply run this command, okay, so if you simply run this much, then it is also fine. It will test any module which is having this pattern, test_star.py, in that folder and the subfolders, or any file name which is having anything followed by test.py. so anything which these names will be tested. Okay, so we'll just run python -m, and then the PyTest, and then I'll just give this function. This is my test module that we want to run. Okay, so let's just run it. Okay, what is happening here? Okay, global name. Okay, demo function is not defined. Okay, so there is something wrong here. Demo function. Okay, the spelling is not correct. Okay, so what I need to do is here, I think I have imported demo function, right? But in our file, I think that name is different. We have given okay, so what is wrong here? In our file, demo function, here n is missing. That's what I'm spelling mistake. Okay, so if I run this command again, I want to test this unit test. Okay, now let's see what is happening. Has no attribute subtraction. Okay, I think that is another spelling mistake in this demo function .py subtraction. Okay, so subtraction, this is C, I believe this should be correct. Okay, so what is happening here is that I am starting the test, okay, and it is collecting two items. Okay, so this is my file which it is doing. Okay, and then this is the first mode, this is the first function, and then there's one more function. So you see one of the method has been successful. This is 100%. Okay, let's try to run it one more time, then maybe it will be more better to understand. Okay, so here you see the test is 100% successful. Okay, it passed in 0.01 second. Okay, fine. So what is happening is that whatever is my expectation, whatever we are asserting here, okay, is being correct as per our test. So our test is successful. Okay, let's make it fail. Okay, what will happen if we if you make a mistake in the code. Let's say by mistake, if you place instead of plus you place minus, or you make a mistake in the code. Okay, let's say if you give in place of minus you give something like plus here. Okay, so instead of minus you give plus also by mistake. Okay, so my subtraction, there is a mistake in the code. So how do we test it? So we go here and then we assert that, okay, if I pass 6 and 4, the result should be 2, right? Okay, fine. Now we run the test again. Okay, so we run it. Okay, there is one more way to run the test. Okay, so I will show that also. So you can simply do py.test to run the test in the same folder. So it will search for the test modules which are created in the folder and the subfolders. So if you simply give py.test, so see here, it is collecting 5 items. You see, actually there are other files also, other test modules also in the same folder. So for them also it is performing the test. So the rest of them are fine. But in our demo function, you see this one has failed, right? So if you see here in the subtract method, we have asserted that the result of 6 minus 4 should be 2, but here the result is 10. So 10 is not equal to 2, which means there is some problem in the code. So our code is giving 10, but we want it to be 2. So we go back in our code. Okay, and we see, okay, here we go, return. Okay, so I see there is a mistake, so it should be minus. That's how we correct it. We debug it using the testing and we correct it. Okay, so this is how we correct it. And if I run it again, if I run this test again, and you see there is no error anymore, so the testing is successful. Okay, so this is that's all in this module. This I was planning to give a demo on unit testing, how we perform the unit testing, and how we after debugging the code, how we correct it. So that's all in this tutorial for unit testing. I'll come up with complex functional testing in the next module. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all.